Welcome to video number 3, automation 3 of 101. This is a real simple one. This is going to be a pretty quick one, probably under 5 minutes. Let's see if I can do it. So here's the thing. There's many times that you have an automation that you're just wanting, hey, please assign a task to somebody on my team or to myself and make sure that task has a due date. And I want it to always assign that task at this time. Anytime this happens in my business, assign a task to this person on my team. How does that work? Well, first of all, CRMX has tasks built in, not a major project management system, not yet at least, but it has basic tasks. It's easy to manage those tasks from your phone, your mobile app, or your screen, right? So, or desktop, I should say. So because of that, it's very easy for your users to log in whatever role they're playing and just check their tasks, make sure whatever's due today or past due to get those done, okay? You can assign tasks, you can put due dates on them, and you can do it automatically, like create those tasks. So here's what it looks like. Here's the flow. Then I'll go ahead and build it. Okay, this is very powerful when you're just wanting to make sure there's a system in place that this always happens. This task, it's a manual task. By the way, when would you use this? Well, when you can't automate it fully. You want a task because you don't want either. You want it to be a humanized action. You want the customer or a prospect to know a human is doing this. Because that may be important at that stage of the funnel or process. Or two, it's impossible to automate. It has to be a human doing it, and you're just going to assign a task and a due date. Okay? So here's what we've got. There's going to be some kind of trigger, as you probably figured if you watched any of the previous couple videos. In automations, there's triggers and actions. The trigger would be something. And I'm going to put in this example, they reached an engagement score of 10. So this is going to be in lead generation in this example. It's not going to be a customer, it'll be a prospect. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Then we're going to create and assign the task. And then I like, for good measure, to always put a note with a timestamp on it so there's a paper trail to look through their notes and see, oh, a task was created or they hit a engagement score of 10, something to that factor, okay? And then this is all we need to know. And down here it just says whatever else you want to automate. But because this video is just about this, we're just going to talk about this task creation. So what's the trigger? Here are the things you need to know as you build this. What is the trigger? Like, what's going to trigger your task creation? What task do I want to perform? And who should perform that task? And when should this task be due, right? So that's here. Let's go through this. I'll make sure that we cover each one as I build, okay? So I'll slide this over, and I'm in CRMX workflow builder. I'm going to shrink this down and let's get building. So I'm under automation, and I have that's where we build these workflows. I'm just going to build it from scratch. I'm going to click and I'm going to start from scratch. Let's call this auto create task. You would want to name it something more specific. Usually I name mine trigger, and I put a little caret thing pointing to the right, and then this would be the main thing I'm trying to accomplish over here on the right. Okay. An example would be, let's just do an example. How about that? These are good things to note when you're the one in charge of building these things, because it's hard to remember what the crap some of the stuff you build does. And so if the title gives you a hint, it's a good idea. So let's just say engagement score reaches 10. That's the trigger. On the right, just like assign task to contact owner, which in this case I know like closer or setter or something like that. But whoever owns the contact typically is going to be what do you call it? The task owner. There we go. All right. So what do we got? So we have the name now. I'm going to do the trigger, and this is an engagement score trigger, which is kind of cool. I won't go into the engagement scores yet, but this is a pretty good automation for you to learn about. Again, I'm only showing you this to show you an example of when you would trigger a task. So contact engagement score. I'm going to add a filter, and it reaches which score is equal to, or it's equal or greater than or equal to, which is fine. I would just say greater than or equal to 10. So when they reach 10 or more, go ahead and make that the trigger. Okay, so I'm going to hit save trigger. Boom. You might be asking how the engagement score increases to 10. That's another video for another time. For now, just pretend, hey, I know how it works to increase their engagement score. I can, because you can automate that, by the way. That will be another video. And I know how to do that. So assuming you know how to do that, now I can automate the task. So boom, when they reach 10, I want to create a task. You say add task, you put the title, and keep in mind this little tag, anytime you see this symbol, that means you can merge these values, these custom values or default values of the contact record. Like this could say full name, so that would say if the full name of the contact record is Bob Smith reached, or you might say contact or call, let's say call Bob, or call Bob Smith would be right there. And I'll just say reached engagement score 10 plus. Okay, that's it. You might just repeat that in the description, but the title's helpful because as as the user that's assigned to this task, I'll see that and I'll know what type of automation triggered this. Does that make sense? Then I go to, remember, we need to know these things right here. What's the trigger? We know that. What task do I want to perform? A call. Who should perform it? That's what I'm doing next. So Bob Marley on my team is going to do this. And then when. And you can put it's due in 1 day from when this triggers. So if this triggers today, make it due 1 day, 2 day, 3, 4, 5, and then those are your options, or just now. Okay? So that's it there. And I'm going to say do now and hit save. So now I have an automation. Triggers when an engagement score happens, a task. If I wanted to add the note, I put the note here. I'm not, and the notes again are just for paper trail. You might just say it again, contact. I'm not going to say call because you already have that as a recorded action, but Bob Smith reached engagement score 10 plus. So that's the way it's in the paper trail on that date and time. And we are good to go. This automation is created. It's pretty cool. You might go ahead and combine this with other actions you could do. You could, let's say you're not sure if somebody's assigned or not. You could say, I want to assign this to a user when they reach a contact score of 10. Maybe you have a specific user on your team, a salesperson that always closes or contacts lead score or engagement score 10 or more. Or just in case, if they're not already assigned, I always rotate these between Bob, Marley, and Brent. I split the traffic equally or unevenly. And then I only, here's what's cool, is only apply to unassigned contacts. So I would, just in case they are already, like Bob already owns this, I don't want to accidentally assign it to Brent or vice versa. So that's when I would click this and say, only if they're not, somebody doesn't already own them, then assign them and rotate them between those two users. Cool? So I just gave you a little tip there. You're welcome. Make sure you hit publish, save, and you're good to go. When they reach the engagement score, you're set, okay? I'm going to unpublish because I don't want this going in the background. All right. So that is how you set up an automation for an automated task. And you can do several tasks, guys. You can do one task. You could clone this and even say copy. And you can do this anywhere. On all these actions, you can copy them. I'm going to copy this action. I also want to create one more task because when they reach an engagement score, I want XYZ person, not just Bob, to have a task. I want Brent to have a different task that says do XYZ thing, right? So let your imagination go wild. It does not have to be an engagement score trigger. These are the variables. You do not have to have this. You can change out this. This could be a new customer purchase. So somebody needs to send something in the mail manually off of your team, and they print something and send it in the mail, like a signed welcome to the team card or welcome to the tribe or whatever. You're going to send a package in the mail. Then this could be the package or the trigger. They purchased a product, a specific product. Then you assign the task to ship that. Also assign a task to call. Like, you can do all kinds of things here. Okay. All right. I really hope this helps you automate one more thing in your business. Stay tuned for our next video, and we'll chat with you soon.